Do you live in the mountain but dream about a wedding at the beach? Or maybe you are living in the south where it never gets cold, but you are dreaming of real winter wedding with snow. Your dream can absolutely come true if you plan a destination wedding. And in this video, let's break down step by step everything you need to make it a reality. And I really know what I'm talking about because I planned my own destination wedding 10 years ago. Back then I was already living in Switzerland, but really wanted to have a wedding in Russia, in Moscow, so that all my family members could attend. But destination weddings can feel totally overwhelming. Like, where do you even start? How do you make sure your guests and vendors actually show up? What about the budget? Yeah, and today I'm sharing everything I wish I knew before diving into destination wedding planning. These are the exact steps that will save you stress, money, and honestly your sanity. So grab your coffee and let's plan your dream destination wedding together. First of all, start with your why and set realistic expectations. Before you fall in love with that, Pinterest perfect beach ceremony, you need to get really honest about why you want a destination wedding. I personally think the best destination weddings happen when couples choose a location for the right reasons. Are you doing this because you genuinely want an intimate celebration in a meaningful place? Perfect! Are you doing it just because it looks pretty on Instagram? Then we might need to talk about it. For me, it was because I wanted all of my guests to be able to come to our celebration. And I knew that it was much easier for my friends in Switzerland to fly to Moscow rather than bringing all my relatives, from Russia to Switzerland. And here's what you need to know. Destination weddings are not automatically cheaper or easier than home weddings. They require different planning, different timelines, and different expectations. So set your expectations early. In most cases, this isn't about having a huge party. It's more about creating a meaningful experience in a place you love. Now, tip number 2, and this is where I see so many couples get it wrong. They pick the most beautiful place they've ever seen on social media without thinking about the practical stuff. Also, I really love the idea of choosing somewhere that has personal meaning to you as a couple. Think about places where you've traveled together, where you've got engaged, or somewhere that represents your shared dreams. For us, it was the city where we grew up. For you, it can be something completely different. Consider your guest list too. If your grandparents are coming, maybe skip the location that requires, 3 connecting flights and a boat ride. Think about the time of the year. Hurricane season in the Caribbean or monsoon season in Southern Asia could literally rain on your parade. Also, research marriage requirements early. Some countries require you to arrive weeks before your ceremony for paperwork. Others have residency requirements that could completely change your timeline. This research should happen before you fall in love with a specific venue. Set your budget and stick to it. Okay, so now let's talk money, because destination weddings can get expensive fast and not always in the ways you expect. I personally think you need to budget for way more than just the ceremony and reception. Start with your total wedding budget, then break it down. You'll need money for travel, accommodation, the actual wedding, and activities for guests. As well, budget for what I call destination extras. Those unexpected costs that pop up when you are planning from far away. Here's something most people don't think about. You might need to pay for things twice. Like, if you want a tasting with your caterer, you might need to fly there just for that. Or if you want to see your venue in person before booking. These trips add up fast. We use a spreadsheet for our wedding and I recommend the same approach here. Track everything. Flights for you and your partner, accommodation for your stay, vendor deposits, guest welcome bags, everything. Be honest about what you can actually afford, because going into debt for your wedding is never worth it. By the way, let me know, how do you plan your budget for your wedding? Do you also use some kind of a spreadsheet or apps? How do you manage this part? And do you find it convenient or not? Do you like it? I am really curious. If you could share more information in the comment, please. Destination wedding timelines are completely different from home weddings. You need way more time for everything. I started planning my wedding more than 1 year in advance, and honestly, I wish I had started even earlier. Start planning at least 12 to 18 months in advance. This gives you time to research venues, handle legal requirements, and give your guests enough notice to plan and budget for travel. Here's my recommended timeline. 12 months out, choose your destination and book your venue. 10 months out, then save the date so guests can start planning. 8 months out, book your travel and accommodation. 6 months out, handle marriage license requirements and finalize vendors. The key is building in buffer time. If something goes wrong with paperwork or a vendor cancels, you need time to fix it. And trust me, when you are planning from another country, things take longer than you expect. Communication delays, time zone differences, and language barriers all slow things down. Okay, now this is probably the least romantic part, but it's so important. Every country has different marriage requirements, and some are way more complicated than others. I personally think you should research this before you even choose your destination. Some places require blood tests, others need documents translated and are apostilled. If I'm not mistaken, Mexico requires you to have witnesses who have been in the country for a certain number of days. Italy has different requirements depending on which region you choose. So maybe consider doing, a legal ceremony at home and a symbolic ceremony at your destination. This approach can take so much pressure off. You can have a small legal ceremony with your immediate family or just the two of you, and then have the destination celebration later. If you do want to make it legal abroad, hire a local wedding planner who knows the requirements. Don't try to navigate foreign bureaucracy on your own. It's honestly not worth the stress. Finding good vendors in another country feels impossible at first, but I promise it gets easier once you know what you look for. Start with a local wedding planner if your budget allows it. I recommend this approach because they know the area, the vendors, and the requirements. They can save you so much time and stress. I also had a planner in Moscow to help with some parts of my wedding celebration, even though my family members, especially my mom, helped us on site with the planning a lot. If you can't afford a full planner, consider hiring a day-off coordinator at minimum. Having someone local who speaks the language and knows the vendors can save your wedding day. For other vendors, ask for lots of photos and videos of their previous work. Schedule video calls instead of just email communication. Check reviews on multiple platforms, not just their website testimonials. Also have always backup plans. Weather, vendor cancellations, or other issues can happen anywhere, but when you're in another country, your options might be more limited. Make sure your contracts include backup options or refund policies. Now let's talk about your guest experience, because this is where destination weddings can really shine or really fall apart. Your guests are spending money and vacation time to celebrate with you, so make it worth their while. Create a wedding website with all the information guests need: travel details, accommodation options, local activities, weather expectations, and a packing list. I personally think this is essential because people will have so many questions. Consider planning activities beyond just a wedding. maybe a group dinner when everyone arrives, or a post-wedding brunch. We went for a breakfast option the day before the wedding with our foreign friends who flew to Moscow from other countries, and it was such a perfect way for everyone to meet and get excited together. Help with group rates for hotels or vacation rentals. Many places offer discounts for wedding blocks. Also think about transportation. If your venue is hard to reach, can you organize group transportation? Remember that some people might turn your wedding into a longer vacation. Give them suggestions for activities and restaurants, but don't feel like you need to plan their entire trip. Okay, so you'll be planning most of this from far away. It means communication becomes super important. I learned this during my wedding planning as well. Think about time zones, language barriers, and different communication styles, cultural things. All this can make things challenging. Set up regular check-ins with your main vendors. Schedule video calls monthly or more often as you get closer to the date. Email is great for details, but video calls help you build relationships and catch things that might get lost in translation. Keep detailed notes of every conversation. When you are dealing with multiple time zones and different vendors, it's easier to forget who said what. So be patient and flexible. Things might move slower than you are used to, or vendors might have different walk-in styles. Build extra time into your timeline for, back and forth communication. Consider learning basic phrases in local language or use translation apps for important conversations. Remember that even simple phrases, like thank you and please in the local language can go a long way. Okay, I hate to be the person who brings up problems, but destination weddings come with unique challenges that you need to be ready for. For example, travel delays happen more often than you would think. Build buffer time into your schedule. Arrive a few days early and suggest your important vendors and key family members do the same. Consider travel insurance for you and encourage it for your guests. Things like flight cancellations, illness, or family emergencies can happen, and insurance can help people get back some costs. Have a local contact person, either your planner or venue coordinator, who can handle day-of issues. You don't want to be dealing with vendor problems on your wedding morning. Pack important items in your carry-on. Wedding dress, rings, any special decorations that can't be replaced. I've heard too many horror stories about lost luggage containing wedding essentials. Also consider the following advice. Just focus on what truly matters to you as a couple, rather than trying to please everyone else. Last but not least, just because you're in another country doesn't mean you have to lose your personal style. I really admire couples who find the ways to blend their personalities with local culture. Incorporate local traditions or elements that feel right to you. Maybe local flowers, traditional music, or regional cuisine. But don't feel like you have to use everything just because you are there. As one couple I know said, find an environment that matches your personalities, needs, and wishes. Think about welcome gifts that reflect the local destination, some local treats, maps of the area, or small souvenirs that guests can take home. Document everything. Hire a local photographer who knows the best spots and lighting. Consider videographer too, because you'll want to remember not just the ceremony, but I'm sure the whole experience. And create moments for your guests to connect with each other. And of course the location. Maybe a group photo at a famous landmark or a traditional activity everyone can enjoy together. Planning a destination wedding is definitely more complex than planning at home, but when it's done right, it creates memories that last forever. I still get emotional thinking about our wedding 10 years ago, and I know how perfect everything came together. The key is starting early, staying organized, and remembering why you wanted to do this in the first place. It's about celebrating your love in place that's meaningful to you, surrounded by the people who matter most. So I want to hear from you. Are you planning a destination wedding? Where are you thinking of going? Drop a comment below and let me know what questions you have. And if this was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more wedding planning advice. You can also follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes content and daily wedding inspiration. And now until next time, happy planning!